Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Cthulhu Realms. Now, Cthulhu Realms is from Tasty Minstrel Games by designer Darwin Castle. Hopefully I said that right. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but I'd like to say his name properly if I can. Anyhow, the idea of this game is that each player in the game will be going head-to-head, or head-to-head to head, however many heads they have, in order to try and knock the other person down in sanity, get rid of all of the opponent's sanity, and win the game. You're going to do this by deck building. So you're going to have a deck of cards, you're going to add cards to that deck of cards, hopefully look for synergies between those cards, and deal damage to your opponent. And the player that's better at doing this, quicker at doing this, will be the winner of the game. That, or you can of course heal your own cards, but essentially stay alive or stay sane longer than the other players. So real quick, why don't we take a look at what you get inside of this box. We'll see how the game plays, and we'll come back at the end and get my opinions on Cthulhu Realms. So here you can see Cthulhu Realms set up in the two-player format. The difference between two players and more players is that this central area of the game where players buy their cards from in Cthulhu Realms in a two-player game has 5 cards in it. In a 3 or more player game, there's actually not a central area, but rather pockets of areas that each player can buy from. So each player would have 3 face-up cards between them and the next player, and they would have the option of buying from the 3 cards to their left and the 3 cards to their right, giving them 6 cards to choose from, which are different from the person on their left or right's 6-card options. So basically, you have a variety of options of what to buy from, but the variety will change depending on how many players are in the game. From that point, you're also going to have a deck of cards, and in this deck of cards are basic cards. So you're going to have some initiates. Initiates are going to let you either get conjuring power, which is buying power for buying more cards, or deal damage to one of your opponents, damage in the form of sanity. And the goal of the game is to reduce all of your opponents to 0 sanity. Additionally, if you decide to abjure this card or remove it from the game, you may deal 1 extra damage to someone. So you can remove the card from the game, which is what this tiny little icon means, to deal an extra damage. And you'll have 2 of those initiates. You will also have some goons. Goons simply let you deal damage. That's all they do. That's all they'll ever do. And then you'll have followers. You'll have 6 followers. And followers only generate conjuring power. That's what they do, and that's all they will ever do. At the start of the game, you will shuffle this deck of cards, and everyone, of course, has the same deck of cards. So once it's shuffled up, you're ready to start. If you're the start player, on your first turn, you will only get a 3-card hand. Everybody else will get 5 cards, and on your next turn, you will get 5 cards as well. But first hand, you only get 3. Additionally, every player will start with 50 sanity and a little token to get up to 55 or more if they would like, so you can put this out as 55 plus, and then mark the extra ones that you have. So, that's only if you gain life, of course. Hopefully your other opponents will be trying to stop you from doing that. So I have my 3-card hand. On my turn, I'm going to be playing these cards to the table in order to generate effects. So we'll see I have a follower, that's worth +1 conjuring, another follower, worth +1 conjuring, so I have 2 conjuring, and 1 damage. So if I had an opponent who had their sheet out here, I could move one of them down from 50 to 49 sanity, and they're 1 closer to losing the game. However, once I'm done with that, I can move into buying. And buying, I have 2 conjuring power. I can look out here and see what I can afford. Out here, there are going to be a variety of different cards. They are of 3 different colors. Mostly when you're looking at color, you're likely looking at synergy between cards. So there's a likeliness that yellows will work together with other yellows, or greens will work together with other greens, purples with other purples. Black is the neutral card color, and there are also and always black initiate cards that you can buy for 2 value. So I would look out here and see what I can buy. Well, we have 4, 5, 3, 4, and 2. Well, perhaps I'm interested in this card, and I would look at it, and I'd see that if I buy this for 2, it will go into my discard pile. It will let me deal 3 damage to a player when I get to play it, and if I have played another yellow card, I may then draw and discard a card. That's what this icon means here. In the bottom left-hand corner, I can see that this is an artifact, and other cards may trigger off of artifacts. And I can see it's a yellow card, and of course other cards might trigger off of yellow cards. So let's say I spend my 2 conjuring points for this. I would then replenish this. If I had more conjuring power, I could spend it on more cards, but since I don't, my turn would end and pass to the next player. So that's the basics of the game. You're trying to buy cards to build your deck. play those cards to deal damage and buy more cards, draw more cards, deal more damage, whatever the case might be, to reduce all of your opponents to 0 points, or 0 sanity, before they can reduce you. But there are several different abilities you can see on cards in the area. So there are entity cards, which are represented by the little guy in the bottom left-hand corner. This ability right here means that you may abjure a card, which means get rid of it from the game. Could be from your discard pile, could be from the center of the table to change what's available for buying. And if a green card has been played, another green card has been played this turn, you get +2 conjuring power, but it costs 4. This one says, if a card has been discarded this turn, that's the little minus icon here, you may abjure a card. That's all it does, but it is a location, and it is actually a protective location. This one is the ruins, and at the bottom here, it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see that there's a little dude inside of a shield. This location stays in play at the end of your turn once you've played it, and will only leave play once it's been dealt sanity equal to the sanity value in the bottom left corner, 4. So this is basically a shield preventing me from taking 4 sanity damage. Additionally, the little shield means that I cannot be attacked before the 4 sanity is dealt to this and it's removed from play. So this one actually is kind of a shield to prevent you from taking damage. And you can activate its ability every turn it's in play, once per turn. This one here is also a location that's a shield for the player, but every turn it allows you to deal 3 damage to somebody as long as it's still in play, and if another yellow card has been played, it lets you deal another 2 damage. Some other locations may simply just be locations that give you a benefit every turn. So this one says if a location has been played this turn, you can deal 5 damage, and it has 5 sanity. It does not protect the player, so you can choose to deal your sanity damage to this card to remove it from play to prevent the player who has it from dealing damage to you in future turns. Other locations may actually have a benefit that protects a location. So I'm just going to sift through the deck here to see if I can find any of those real quickly. Of course, I can't find any real quickly. But there are locations that protect other locations from being damaged, such as this one here, the Arkham City. You'll see instead of a little dude in the bottom left-hand corner, it has a building, which means that all of your other locations are safe while this is in play. There are several other icons in the game. Some will let you draw cards, some will let you abjure cards, some generate more conjuring power or let you gain or lose sanity, so do sanity damage to somebody else. Some will let you destroy somebody else's location without damaging it, and then others will let you get a card that's been removed from the game and add it to your discard pile. So once it's gone, it's not necessarily gone for good. You're of course going to be looking for interactions between types of cards that are in your deck so that you can generate more things each turn, be it damage or conjuring power, to better accelerate your engine to deal damage to other players. And the first player to eliminate everyone else from the game in terms of sanity will be the winner. Well, there you have it. That is Cthulhu Realms from Tasty Minstrel Games. Now, as you may have picked up if you've played Star Realms, this game is very, very similar to Star Realms, but I think something about it is a little better in my mind than Star Realms, and I'm not sure I can exactly put my finger on it because I haven't played Star Realms for quite some time. But my recollection is that this, or Star Realms I should say, starts off a little bit slower. There's a little bit more build time in Star Realms to really get things moving and get the synergy between the cards that you need in order to make the advancements that you need in the game. Whereas with Cthulhu Realms, you're kind of right into it. Right off the bat, you're able to damage your opponent's sanity, and you are able to start making progress towards the end of the game. And of course, the decisions you make in terms of the cards that you buy will accelerate that or decelerate it depending on what you do. But overall, you know, it's quick, it's easy, and finding the right synergies is really going to be beneficial to you, and that's really what I'm looking for. Quick, but strategic at the same time. So overall, I enjoy this quite a bit. The artwork on the cards is fantastic. I really love the feel of it. So overall, if that sounds good to you, definitely suggest checking it out. Cthulhu Realms from Tasty Minstrel Games.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.